My name is Robert Workman. I'm actually an electromagnetic radiation specialist. I'm actually a building biologist, so I do have a couple of different certifications, but my specialty that I focus on is EMRS, EMFs from electromagnetic fields. E is electric field, magnetic is magnetic fields, and the frequency or radiation is a radiation, and you have also dirty power. So what we're concerned about here, we're putting in this new fiber optic system. Of course, there was no NEPA test, there was no environmental study done on this stuff. And it makes sense, there shouldn't be any pollution because it works on light, right? Because it's, it's fiber optics. It makes sense. Everything can be faster. Like we really need anything to be more faster, but let's just go to the good side of it. But the downfall is, it depends on how it's hooked up. No one really knows what type of other fields it's going to create. So right now we are at 1.7, and it's starting to rain on us now here, but we're going to do this anyway. And I'm going to get closer to the energy, so I'm going to put closer down to the ground. So now we're at, but this is all this up, we're at 12 milligauss. And if I go up higher, it goes down. So we definitely know it's coming from there. It's not coming from the sky. I'm going to keep moving a little closer. Now this house here, I'm going to go down a little lower. So again, nothing there, so it's the same. A little lower. So it's definitely comes along here, the energy field, the current comes into the home through these different mechanisms of water pipes, and even your own the two hots. So now we're down to 1, which is good. Now let's go back over here. Get closer to the panel. The panel's actually in the garage, which actually is good. And let's go back over here. Now this has changed actually. Earlier it was a lot worse actually, but it could be what's going on here because air conditioner turns on and off. But now this is pretty normal. You're going to have a high magnetic fields along this area through here because there's a lot of current flow. Well, that's why you don't have a bedroom by a meter. Now we do have a opt-out analog meter. So you can see here, this is actually picking up amperage because your utility company produces amperage, just picks up the amperage, and then dials converts this to kilowatt hours. So an analog meter runs on what they call eddy currents. So it doesn't use any sort of power. If you have a smart meter, it's a computer system, and it works on volts amps is the formula they use because it's a computer system. It's got a circuit board, 4-layer circuit board. It's got a chip in here. And what happens there is when the amperage comes in, because again, the utility doesn't produce voltages, only transformers produce voltages. But this new computer system, which is set up right before the sensors, is called a switch mode power supply. This switch mode power supply goes from the 240 volts down to about 5 volts to run the computer system, runs the, again, I don't call this a smart meter, I call it what it actually is. It's actually a computer system. And that computer system runs on the 5 volts. It converts everything from amperage to kilowatt hours, but it picks up amperage and the voltages, which also means it picks up the dirty power, plus a switch mode power supply, which they could have fixed for $2. For $2, you could put a dirty power resistor in here. That way it wasn't producing dirty power back into your house. But they skipped that, so now you got the switch mode power supply dirty power. You got the overcharging every 15 minutes of the power. I've actually done a video on that in the past, how they actually overcharge you every 15 minutes. And this costs, well, not this one, this costs about $90 every 60 years to replace. And your smart meters cost $2,000 every 5 to 7 years to replace because of the software and the hardware upgrades you got to do. It's only common sense, it has to be upgraded. That's why right now in California, they're already going through a replacement. They're asking for $500 million to start replacing right now over there the gas meters. But this will only last maximum 10 years, more than likely 3 to 7 years. And you'll have to do software upgrades, and then the chip will wear out, and it actually start using more power. The smart meter, according to the studies we have done, use Detroit Power. We did a study out there in Detroit area, and we found that the smart meters up there were using about 2 kilowatts of power per day. So basically about 860 kilowatts of power per year. So basically you have to open up a new power plant to run the smart meters, and there was no energy used to actually run the meters that are safe, environment friendly. They're very green, which is what you see right here, but they're replacing something that's not very green. It's the energy hog. It puts out really toxic 900 megahertz frequencies and also a Wi-Fi frequency. Makes absolutely no sense. I've talked to my senators, I've talked to Missouri Public Service, I've talked to the EPA, and no one has disagreed with me on this stuff. They agree with me on everything I've said, but they're not willing to do anything right now. Right now, this is through Senator Hawley's office. We have an FCC code violation, not on this meter, but on the smart meters, because they're pulsing over 2,000 times a day, and they're telling everybody it's 4 times a day, which is a code violation because of 900 megahertz will destroy your health. That's actually the frequency that opens the blood-brain barrier. So it's like a software program. And they're doing this because they freaking hate you. That's why they're doing this. They absolutely hate you. So you're not going to get anything accomplished here unless we have a bottoms-up movement here, not a top-down. We're putting the hard work in this, and the consumers don't know any better than this. They think it's fine, and probably they're pretty much exhausted. But that's pretty much what we got here. Thanks so much.